Our education system is broken and our children are paying the price. What qualifies me to speak on this topic? Well, I've been on both sides of the teacher desk and I can see from the inside how completely outdated the system is. If you are a teacher watching this, you should understand what I'm talking about here right now. It's over like, what, 150 years old? Not a lot's changed. So today I want to dig into that. We're discussing on this video the Rockefellers, what the current education system looks like now, what is happening in the background. This year alone, I've spoken to over 600 teachers worldwide, and I'm going to get all those views, put it into a nice collaborative pot, and feed back to you at the end of this video what I think needs to happen to the education system to make it absolutely phenomenal so young children on this planet can actually thrive and do something purposeful with their life and not be trapped and locked in the education system. So as you can see just here, the school system was designed to control you, absolutely. So this guy just here was, once upon a time, the richest man in the world. John D. Rockefeller, very, very rich. He got rich from oil. He owned over roughly 90% of the oil in the world. So he, to modern day standards, he would probably be worth around about 500 billion, which is way more than, yes, Elon Musk and all those characters as well. Back in 1903, he funded something called the General Education Board. What is the General Education Board? Well, I'm so glad you asked. Basically, what it is was a tool in order to stop children from becoming a nation of thinkers. Get rid of that, no thank you. And he wanted a nation of workers instead. Why do you think they actually have a bell in schools to signify it when a break is? And they had that on the picket line all those years ago. I don't really know. I wasn't there. But this was over 150 years ago. It's outdated and it's not preparing children for real life anymore. I don't know if you feel the same way. I'm not sure. But it was all back in the Industrial Revolution times, which has been and gone, in my opinion. So there's this guy called Frederick T. Gates, and he was employed by John D. Rockefeller to govern, be the director of the GEB, the General Education Board. And he said, "We shall not try to make these people or any of their children into philosophers or men of learning or of science. The task we have set before ourselves is very simple. We will organize children and teach them to do in a perfect way the things that their fathers and mothers are doing in an imperfect way." Okay, so that's just kind of like, completely highlighting industrial capitalism, where he thinks, hey, I know what's right for you, I know it'll work for you, let's do this, let's do that, do what I say, not as I do, as you can tell. So basically all it's doing is molding children for productivity, not independent thought. Very, very strange. Let's carry on. So basically, it's again just to obey an authority, just to follow rules. If you're a teacher watching this, or even if you've been a student in the past, school's just a memory test, right? Look, he's just governed the system to memorize, not think, and work for 9 to 5 jobs until the new retirement age of 67. Which is absolutely horrendous, by the way, because after that, you kind of all, no offense to the 67-year-olds and 68-year-olds, but kind of you're not as useful as you were before. You're kind of a little bit decrepit is the wrong word. This is why they teach you things like maths and English and irrelevant subjects just like that, because it's not going to help a young person thrive unless that's something that you want to do. But it's just a complete generalized blanket of information for every single child, especially in state school. But have a little look at this. Look, what do you think to this? Look at that. Prisons and schools look very, very similar, don't they? Obviously, in schools, you're allowed out, and I get that, but it's the same sort of dynamic. Not really sure what's going on with that one just there. Now this is where it gets a little bit interesting. So John D. Rockefeller funds Big Pharma. Okay, so Big Pharma. We want a big pharma. He wanted to move away from natural healing and go towards the pharma-based care, so drugs in a way. So he wanted to create workers by putting them into a education system, so they get used to that type of behavior and they just become cogs in the machine, which makes them really, really poorly and makes them really, really sick, and then give them the drugs to make them better, of which you have to pay for, and therefore he makes endless money. Absolutely crazy. Now, what can we do instead? This is what I think we should focus on. So for number one, Number one is this. Number one, in my opinion, massive redesign of the education system to focus solely on human potential. So make it specific to the child. What does he or she want to do in their time of education, not industry? So don't make it all about the industry and put them in. Now, there could be some children that want to do that, and that's great, and that's fine, that's wonderful, and I understand that. But there's many, many that do not want to do that at all. Number two, emotional intelligence. So what do we want to focus on? Self-belief, resilience, conflict resolution, emotional resolution, failure mindset. These are all the things just here that I focus on when I am life coaching children. So I was a teacher of 12 years teaching science and PE. Now I life coach kids all around the world. And these 5 topics, I've been doing this for the past 11 years, are what I solely focus on, and the results I get are absolutely phenomenal. And I always get some amazing comments back from parents. Next, we've got I think number 3, more coaching and less testing, right? I mean, a test, you're just learning for the test. You're memorizing for the test. That's standardized test to become a standard citizen. Nothing excellent, nothing outstanding. I think children need to be guided and coached into their excellence. That's what I think. Number 4, train teachers as mentors, not managers. I was having a conversation the other day with a teacher friend of mine, and he said that we get into teaching to teach, and then when we get to the next pay level, we do less of that teaching and we just do managing, and we get paid more for it, which is wild, isn't it? You get paid to manage these people. You're just running a business at the end of the day. And a lot of teachers don't want to do that. They just would rather teach, but they're not getting rewarded for the job they went into and the results they're getting. And how far apart is it as well, where Ofsted inspectors come in and they don't know anything. They've never, well, some of them obviously have, but a lot of them haven't even been teachers before, which is frankly, in my opinion, absolutely embarrassing. Number 5, I think we should have altered pathways. So I want to focus on entrepreneurship, wellness, going into trades, life skills, coaching. There's so many others as well, but alternate pathways. Again, that links to our first point just here, by focusing on their passion and what makes them happy, what fuels them up, what makes them feel fulfilled. There's a concept in Japan, ikigai, your reason for being, fill in the 4 circles. It's absolutely amazing. And lastly, I think that schools should partner up with coaches to focus on mental health, confidence, behavior, and leadership skills. Not only focus on this with the children, but also focus on this with the teachers as well, because I think the most important people in the school is not the children. I think it is the teachers. That's what I think. Because when they're unhappy, it will drip feed down into the children. But then again, a lot of them are unhappy because they've been conditioned as well. And they're just going with the flow, and they're just living a mundane, boring, stereotypical life. 1 in 5 kids now struggle with mental health issues, which is absolutely wild. So the reason why the education system is like this, it's nothing to do with the teachers. It's not their fault whatsoever. It's all down to this guy just here that wants this. That's it. And it's worked. He's done an absolutely amazing job. He's completely got so much control over all the education system, hasn't he? Well, not anymore because he's not with us anymore, but his family have, and the elites, or whatever you want to call it as well. It's just gone really, really, they've just got full control. We don't need to burn the system down, by the way. What we need to do is we need to offer children something different and extra, another avenue, another path that they can go down. I mean, what's my last video was talking about this, how many kids between 16, 24, I think it was, are not in training, not in education, not in any form of learning. They are literally just doing nothing. They're lost, they're trapped in nothingness. Neat kids. So I left full-time teaching around 11 years ago to set up my own company, life coaching kids. And nobody's ever heard of life coaching kids before. They've heard of life coaches, but not life coaching for kids, which is crazy, right? So if you are a teacher watching this, this is an Easter video. We've actually got a special Easter offer. All I want you to do is just DM me this on any platform. Kid Coach, you can comment below just there, and I'm going to give you a free 18-step guide of how I exactly left the education system to become a life coach for kids and earn anywhere between blooming hell 3 to 8 times my annual salary as a teacher, because life coaches charge anywhere between £60 to £250 an hour. And are parents still going for that? Yep. The amount of homeschooling has increased because of this. These children need life coaching as well. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did enjoy that, fantastic, like and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace out.